Welcome to the Good Life, where life is always good. My name is Kurt, and I personally would like to wish you a happy new year from my family to yours. Sorry, I have not been on here in a while, but as you know, sometimes life just does its own thing. But I am here now, and my one of my pledges for the year is to be more consistent on here and other aspects of my life along this journey. So my apologies for not being on here, but please forgive me. This year did not get off to a good start as we had the terrorist attack in New Orleans, and it was just such a sad situation that so many lives were lost. So many lives will change forever because of the injuries and the memories of what happened, and you have some that will probably never again go to New Orleans because it is just because it may bring back um, those memories. But there is one particular death that I would like to talk about for a few minutes. And as a parent myself and as a grandparent myself, sometimes we have something in our stomach. We have something in our soul that says something isn't right. And I know my parents probably went through the same thing with my sister and I as we were growing up, when my sister and I wanted to go out with our friends, and and in our minds, being 16, 17, 18, everything's going to be okay. We can never take for granted that we are coming home, or we cannot take for granted that our loved ones are coming home, because ultimately, from the time that you are born, there is a expiration date on your life, and as a teen, like I was just saying, we don't understand that, but as adults, we do understand. But there was a young lady from Mississippi who had just finished high school, and she wanted to be a nurse, so she was going to start nursing school. I guess sometime this year, but she went to New Orleans with her cousin and her friend against the wishes of her mother. And she was one of the ones that died, and something in her mother's soul, something in her mother's gut was telling her to tell her daughter not to go. I don't feel right. Something's going to happen. But at 18, all you see is the fun and excitement of going to New Orleans, for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And I just can't wrap my mind around getting that phone call at, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, saying that your daughter had been killed. Um, and I know the mother is going to live the rest of her life wishing she had done more. If she had just put her foot down and said, "You're not going." But then I also read something. I don't know how true this is, but I read something that said that the mother did not know she had left. And I don't know what part of Mississippi she was to get to New Orleans. And I don't know, an hour and a half or so. I don't know that part. But that whole situation is just heartbreaking. All of those deaths are heartbreaking, but this particular one hit home for me because um, my two youngest are 12 and 14, and my oldest is 32. So I went through that with the oldest, and now the younger two. Like I say, just as parents, we want to give our kids enough rope, uh, but we want to give them enough to where we can pull them back just a little bit when we see things. I know there were situations in my life where I shouldn't have been where I was, and it wasn't a place that I told my parents that I would be. So just thank God that nothing tragic happened to me or my friends when we were out. But just parents, I don't care how old your kids are, we always carry that wanted to protect our kids from harm, and like I've, told all my kids when something happens and or they want to go do something and I or when they know too much, I'll ask them, have you been 53? They say no. And I said, I've been 12 and I've been 14. So I've seen a lot more in life that they have seen. And I hope they see a lot more in life than I've seen. So we just have to um, give our kids our life lessons and hope that when they get out on their own or as they're leaving high school, moving forward into adulthood, that those life lessons they remember and they listen to us, and just hope that they're not in such a hurry to grow up, because once those bills start coming, life is real. Life is real. Um, Today is Saturday, January the 4th, and I have a birthday in 8 days. I would be 54 years old on January the 12th. So I am challenging myself this year to prepare myself for my 55th birthday. And in that 55th year, I'm going to come up with a list of 55 things that I've never done. And I'm going to start writing that list probably tonight. And maybe when I come on, I'll give a couple examples of some of the things that I would like to do. So if you guys and gals have any ideas, just drop it in the comments and help me out. I've done a lot in life, but there's just so many things I've never done, and it can be little things. Like I told my wife when she gave me this idea, I told her that I've never had a almond joy. So doing my leading into my once I turn no, I'm sorry, once I turn 55. No, I'm sorry, once I turn, yeah, I'm sorry, once I turn 55 that year, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to eat a almond joy. Never in my life did I ever want an almond joy. I still don't want one, but I've never had one. I've never been skydiving, so maybe I put that on my list. I don't know if that'll be the highlight of my list, but something on my list is it's going to have to be big. I've never robbed a bank, but personally, I have no interest in robbing a bank. I don't want to go to prison. I'm not built for prison. My mind is not built for prison. I like freedom. So those are that's my plan here is to come up with 55 things that I've never done. And they can be little, they can be big, but one of them would not be robbing the bank. I promise you that. So every year, my family gets together and we do this for Christmas, and we do this a drawing where we pull names to see who you're going to get to exchange Christmas gifts with. Uh, so every year, we do this, and this year we included my son's girlfriend and my wife. This is her second year doing it. But every year, I always put a bunch of books that I want. And so I got a bunch of books. And my wife always jokes that I get these books and I never finish them, which I don't, to be honest. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and I see these books that people are talking about. So I'll put them on my list, or sometime during the year, I'll just go buy it myself. So this year, I'm going to take books that I have not finished, and and I'm now going to finish those books. Now, that's not going to be on my list for my 55 things. So I'm going to do this as a thing that I need to do, as far as beginning things and completing things. That's just something that I need to get better in life. And that's not just with books, but just other aspects of my life. So I'm going to sit my butt down and I'm going to finish these books. One book that I'm currently reading is called The Awkward Black Man by Walter Mosley. And Walter Mosley, he actually directed one of the episodes if I'm correct, it was the last season of Insecure. So this book is essentially just a book of short stories, and each story is usually by, I don't know, 8 to 10 pages, but it's a very good book. Another book that I haven't started, which I got last year, is called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man by Emmanuel Ocho. And Emmanuel Ocho played football at the University of Texas, and he played a few years in the NFL. I'm not sure of which teams. And he's currently on one of the shows on ESPN or Fox. I'm not sure. One of the talking head shows. But yeah, so these two books are the books that I'm going to complete this one, which I may be through with this one today. And once I finish that book, I will start this book, and I'll give you some updates when I have completed each of these books. And if you guys have any suggestions on books, just let me know. I have a likeness for African American authors, so I'm not opposed to any other, but just what I like to read, nonfiction and fiction. I'm okay with either one of them. So today we have a couple NFL games. We have the Ravens and the Browns, and we have Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. So that's what my afternoon is going to be for the next. The first game comes on at 3. I think the second game comes on 7 Eastern. 3 and 7 Central Time. So that's what I'm going to be spending the rest of my afternoon doing. Not particularly excited because, I'm a Cowboy fan, and my team did not have a good season at all, but that's okay. I still love football, and the NFL season goes by so fast. It seems like we get to the Super Bowl, and then we start the off season, which, me and the guys, we love to talk about draft, and me and the guys get together on the first round of the NFL draft. We get together, we socialize, we fellowship, we laugh, we drink and watch the first round, and Um, just just it's just a good evening, and I always look forward to that. And we've been doing this probably for about 8 to 10 years, I guess. So we've been doing it for a while, and it's something that all of us look forward to. And one of the guys, he lives in Houston, so he takes off that Thursday. His mother lives here, so he comes here and he stays the weekend. But it's just a great evening. And then we go into the summertime with the mini camp OTAs, and then we go into the then we go into training camp, preseason. The season starts, and the season goes by so quick. And then before we look up, we're at the end of the season, and it's playoffs. And here we are. My team is not in it, but I'm going to enjoy these last, I guess, 6 to 7 more weeks of NFL football, and then we'll just see what the NFL season has for my Mavericks and see what the baseball season has for my Rangers. So, yeah, that's how I'm going to spend the rest of my day. My wife and I are going to we are going to do the Dave Ramsey um, program, Every Dollar, and it's going to be interesting because we feel like that we should be in a better place financially, and this program is going to help us to become more focused in our spending, and it's going to be very eye-opening once we look at the numbers every month to see where our money is going. We have an idea and we know where our money is going, but we do believe that once we look at it, then it's going to be just eye-opening how much money we can save if we trim the fat here, we trim the fat there. Like Dave Ramsey says, live off beans and rice and beans. So I will keep you guys updated on that as well. Another thing I would like to talk about is that so I moved from my apartment. My wife was already living in this house, but she moved. Her and the kids moved from Canada. So just over years, we go to the mailbox and we get mail. We kind of open it up, see what we got, anything important, and we, you know, put it aside. We put it aside. Put it aside, and that's been going on now for a couple years. So on New Year's Day, my wife and I decided that, hey, let's go through these boxes and let's get rid of stuff. And we have an office, and she has started this, I guess, about a month ago. And so there were papers on the floor, but they were in stacks. So we went through these boxes, and we went through that stuff in the office, and we had the shredder. And I am not exaggerating about this. Once it was all said and done, we had 6 13-gallon bags full of shredded paper. What I would like to do, I take the stuff that has account numbers on it and I would shred it, and I would take the envelopes and just put the envelopes in a pile. So all of that ended up being 6 13-gallon trash bags. And we were blown away how that stuff just quickly adds up. And we made a point this year that when we get it, we open it up. If we need it, okay, we're going to put it aside, take care of it. If we don't need it, we're going to shred it and move on. And we got to get more consistent with checking the mail, because sometimes we check the mail once every couple of weeks and we look up and we have, a stack of mail 2.5 inches thick. And when we were going through the stuff, it was like some of the same old stuff was coming through, and it was a headache having to go through all that stuff. And we put on a movie, not a movie. We put on a series on Netflix. So we were occupied, with the TV on, and I had gone to HEB the other day, and I bought some fish fillets. So I fried fish. The kids weren't here, so we did that, and it took us roughly 3 hours to go through all of that paper and envelopes, and it was just. And we think we got everything. There may be a few pieces here lying around, but I said that to also say that it gets to a point in our lives sometimes where we just have to declutter shit. You just have to literally put your foot down and say, okay, we're going to watch our spending. Okay, we're going to go through these papers, and we're going to open each envelope, and we actually going to go through it and see what it is, and we're going to shred it. It's not going to be none of this. Well, I don't know. No, if the envelope hadn't been opened, and now you open it, and now you're debating on if you want to keep it, you don't need it. And we have to do those type of things in our lives. If someone is not useful in your life, why are they still around? So many lessons came out of that just by going through that mail. And it was nothing that there wasn't anything that we threw away or shredded that was like, oh my gosh, we needed to do this. None of that. It was just a bunch of stuff that we should have been doing weekly, but moving forward, we're not going to do that anymore. Oh, we do have two little ottomans at the end of the couch that we're going to go through, and it won't be 6 bags. It may be 1 bag. So and I don't know why we always use the beginning of the year, or the beginning of the month, or the beginning of the week to start things. It can be, oh, I'm going to start my diet on Monday, or I'm going to start meal prepping on Monday. Why can't we just do things in the middle of the week, or the middle of the day? Because when you put things off, that time between when you first mentioned it to when you start, it could be, you could have already started and made some type of progress in whatever situation you're in your life. And sometimes we get too comfortable, and we live thinking that someone else is going to do when you could just do it yourself. So if it's not useful, move on from it. Because if it was useful, you would have used it. And it could be the same thing with clothes. It could be the same thing with shoes. I have that issue myself with shoes. And that's, in fact, I had mentioned before that I've run marathons and 5Ks, 10Ks, endurance runs, and I would like to. I would keep those shoes, and I don't know why. I guess for me, just that memory of what those shoes took me through. It's almost like you form a relationship with your shoes, and I would keep my shoes, but before my wife and I combined households, I threw all those shoes away. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't even wearing them anymore. And matter of fact, some of them had even turned into yard cutting shoes. But I got pictures of me running in all those shoes. So I don't know why I felt like I had to keep those shoes. So it was just a thing that I kept. So we all have something in our life that we hold on to. And there has to be a point of letting go. And sometimes letting go also means healing. And just let it go. Your life would be much better once you start to let things go. And if you're having issues in your life, it is nothing wrong with going to get therapy. I haven't been to therapy since I believe October, but I'm going to start back. I haven't had any major issues. I've started to use some of the tools that when I was going that my therapist gave me, to do. But it is nothing wrong with going back and talk and just talk to a professional because you know my community, my African American community, especially black men, uh, there's just been this tale of got to be tough. You got to be tough. There's nothing wrong with getting help. There's nothing wrong with sometimes crying. There's nothing wrong sometimes with just needing a hug. And my wife saw that I wasn't myself not that long ago, and and I asked her for a hug, and she didn't say why. She didn't hesitate. She just came over and gave me a hug. And those type of things, those type of moments is what those that is what's has helped heal me. Uh, it may be different, for individuals, but for me, that moment, that hug, it meant a lot. It really did. So I don't want to be here too long. I don't want you guys to forget about me because this is something that I've started to do this YouTube page, and it is healing to me. Maybe one day I will talk about some of the things that I've been through, and I'm not ready yet. Maybe I won't. I don't know, but yeah. So thank you for enjoying this YouTube page, and I promise you, this will be. I will be more consistent. Please do me a favor to help me reach a larger audience. Can you like and subscribe? And also, leave me a comment because I enjoy that interaction. And when I listen to or watch people's pages, the first thing I do is if I haven't subscribed, I subscribe. And secondly, I like, and I have even started to um, add my voice in on the comment section. I usually stay away from comment section, but sometimes comment section can be it can be very foul, and mainly on Twitter. With social media. Social media is going to be the death of society, but we all enjoy it for whatever reason. But yeah, so please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and I'll be back. See you guys. Peace out.